Girl, this video is about to get real interesting. And you know what? The players, they are not going to like this. So if you are one, this is your cue to exit. But girl, I'm about to expose to you the dating red flags you need to know. You need to know them like you know yourself so that you don't end up with a man who's going to make your life a living hell. So without any further ado, girls, let's start. In my opinion, the things I'm going to talk about today are not things you should compromise on, because that is one of women's greatest issues. They're like, no one's ever going to be perfect. So should I compromise on this or should I not compromise on that? Everything I'm going to speak about in today's video are non-negotiables, at least for me. Number one, dictative behaviors. What do I mean by that? He likes to dictate your actions. He likes telling you what to do, how it's going to be done. Is his way or the highway? When a man is like this, it is a sign that he is a dictator. And in Islam, when you marry your husband, you are to be submissive to your husband in a healthy way, of course, and to follow your husband's lead. A dictator often doesn't make a good leader. Dictators often create insubordinacy, if that's even a word, but you know what I mean. And they make other people feel inferior. And in doing so, they elevate themselves. And often, if you find yourself in this type of a marriage, what will happen is your sense of self-esteem will drop. Your children that you're likely to have in the future will end up being children who may suffer from anxiety because they're always afraid. Because when dad is a dictator and it's his command, it's his way or the highway all of the time, what you're going to end up with is children who can't make their own decisions, who are afraid to live, who are afraid to explore because they are always afraid of how they're going to come across to the person who's supposed to be a safe space for them, who is their father. So this all round for everybody is a bad idea, trying to marry a man who is a dictator. You will be living a life where you are walking on eggshells. You're going to be living a life where you're going to be scared about every single step you want to take because, oh my God, my husband, what's my husband going to say about my husband? And your life is just going to be all about trying to please this man who has very high standards and it's always his way or the highway. People who are like this are not flexible. People who are like this demonstrate a sense of emotional immaturity. People who are like this are usually individuals who are controlling. And a controlling behavior, way of being is a red flag for a relationship. It's unlikely that you are going to have a healthy, balanced relationship with a man who is controlling because that comes with a lot of insecurities that he is carrying, and he's just going to dump a whole lot of those insecurities on everybody else in that family household. Ladies, when you are picking a partner, I don't just want you to pick a husband that is going to be good for you as a husband. I want you to start thinking outside the box, okay? Travel outside of the here and now and really think about what kind of a father is this man going to be for my children? How are my children going to experience him? These are the deeper questions more wiser women ask when trying to choose a partner. So if he's overly dictative, right? If he tries to control you too much, girl, that is your sign that you need to find the next person because this man ain't ready for marriage. I'll tell you now, as a married woman, marriage is all about compromise. A healthy man, his leadership is in a way where he doesn't feel inferior to take on the advice of his wife. It doesn't make him question his masculinity in any way. But a person who is a dictator, a controlling individual, he doesn't want anybody else's opinion because as far as he's concerned, he knows everything. He's perfect. He's the one that always makes the best decisions, so it's going to be his way or the highway. So to me, if a man is demonstrating a sense of dictatorship in the way that he wants things done whilst you are courting him, it's time to go, sis. It's over. It's over. Dating red flag number 2, excessive jealousy. This goes hand in hand with some of the dictative type behaviors. Excessive jealousy, I know it's quite subjective because some people they're like, oh, is this excessive jealousy? Is it not? I say base it on Quran and Sunnah, but at the same time also base your understanding of this on your logic as well and your emotional state. When a man is being excessively jealous to the point where you can't go to the market shop around, buy things from a male seller, right? When you can't speak to your colleague from work because they are a male, but actually we all live in the West, so to some extent, if you're going to work, you're going to speak to men. There's no such thing as never speaking to any man. When you can't do those basic things, when it's not like you're overextending yourself, you're being overtly friendly, right? Being overtly friendly with the opposite gender is also something that we should be cautious of. But if the individual is not being overtly friendly, it's just a necessity that needs to be met. When someone has a problem with you having to meet the necessities in terms of in terms of communicating with the opposite gender, it could be a red flag. Because what this is showing is that their sense of insecurity is so deep. This is a type of individual who's going to accuse you of infidelity at every given opportunity that they have. And it's not even about what you're doing, it's about their insecurity. Every time you have to, out of necessity, interact with the opposite gender. So excessive jealousy is a danger. It's such a red flag for me that I would not have any woman come into my practice and tell me and show me some of the signs that a man is displaying that demonstrate that he has excessive jealousy. I will not sit there and just be like, no one's perfect, so just compromise. This is one of the ones that I would just be like, girl, run. Okay, like, because living with an individual with this type of a behavior pattern, I'm telling you, will have you stressed out majority of the time. You are going to be so exhausted having to deal with. You are going to be so exhausted having to deal with an individual with this type of a mindset. So please, please, please stay away from the people who have excessive jealousy, because you don't know how far they will go. You don't know how far they will go. People have really done some major harm to other people because of their sense of insecurity. Individuals who have this really need to go through their own healing, get themselves in a place where they have a certain level of trust that is required for marriage to be healthy. There is a level of trust that is required for marriage to stay healthy and to stay happy. And when an individual is already showing you at that dating phase that they don't even have that, as even someone that they are talking to, you are not yet his wife. You are not yet his wife. And if he's demonstrating this level of intense jealousy, girl, it is not something you should compromise on. This is not your person. Let them go. Maybe after they've done their healing, if they're still available and they've really worked on themselves, maybe then you can give them a chance. But you see, at this state, it is a red flag. You let it go and you move on. The next dating red flag that someone is not right for you is if they are starting to love bomb on you. Now, some of us don't know what love bombing is or what it feels like because we have never really been, approached by many men. So we don't know how to differentiate this. And this is where, having a second opinion from someone else would really be helpful, either from a professional or someone that you trust, to say, am I overthinking this? Does this look like love bombing, or is it just me? Because if a guy is calling you like, I don't know, 10 missed calls and you just spoke to him like this morning, and yet he's already giving you 10 missed calls, that could be a sign of love bombing. If he's overly doing it, overly being nice, everything just seems so perfect. Like you're not sensing any flaw with this individual. That's not real, because everybody has a flaw. After speaking to someone for a certain length of time, you're going to begin to see flaws in them. But if this person just comes across too perfect, they say yes to everything that you want, that is another sign of love bombing, right? Yes, everything that you want. They speak to all the things that's like mean the most to you, and they're always willing to do everything for you, and they're always going above and beyond. Every day is flowers and all the gestures, and you're the best thing that ever happened to me, and all the us women, we like to hear all the nice things, but when someone begins to overdo it, that is called love bombing, and that is a warning sign, because what this person is trying to do is they are trying to get you deep into them, so that by the time you realize their flaws, it's too late for you to say no, because you're already head over heels in love. And then you end up marrying them, knowing fully well some of the red flags that they have, but because you're so much in love, you can't say no anymore, and now you're trapped. And then later on, you give yourself 3, 5 years into the marriage, you are regretting why you ever did this, because not long after they finally get you, right? And for a lot of Muslim men who love bomb others who are narcissists, unfortunately, it's after they marry you that they show you their real who they really are. Then you're like, oh my God, but I saw it before and I didn't really know, because at the same time he was showing me all this love, love and all this attention, and then all of a sudden he just strips it all away from me. This is what narcissists do well. When a man is love bombing you, girl, it is not something you should compromise on. He's not just doing it because he's trying to woo you and he's just trying to win you over. There's a difference between a man who is doing his best to win you over and a man who is just love bombing you, because you see, the love bombing is it a sign? It is a sign that there is a major problem wrong with this person, and the problems will not unravel until you are already fallen into his trap. So it is a sign for you to keep it moving. Again, if you don't have a lot of relationship experience and you don't know what that look like, get expert advice, right? You can book coaching sessions with me. I have sisters who come, they book single sessions with me. They're like, Nafisa, this is what I'm experiencing. Is it me? Am I overthinking it? Or is this how I'm actually seeing it? I don't have enough experience to be able to gauge. And I help them as a certified coach. So you can have expert, advice on these things, or you can speak to people you know, you love, you trust, and those who also have a lot of experience in relationships. They may be able to help you. And perhaps after you gather that information, then you might feel more secure in how you're actually perceiving this. But love bombing can be a major red flag as far as I am concerned, that you are dealing with a narcissist and you need to stay away. The next one is disrespect of others. Watch very carefully how a man shows up when he is communicating with other people. If he is good at or enjoys, or it just seems to be part of him that he disrespects others, it is a red flag. Girl, he might be super nice to you for now, but it's only a matter of time before you or your family members become the victims of this same problem that he has. How a person relates to others says a lot about who they are. And if he is just comfortable going around bad mouthing other people, overly judgmental about other people, just too direct in the way that he speaks, and people say, oh, I'm just being honest. Okay, but consider the human being. Do you have emotional intelligence to consider the human being? Right? So if he is disrespectful to others, it is a red flag. It is a part of who he is. And that's not something you're just going to change because he loves you. Because, baby girl, when the day comes in marriage and he's not feeling very much that he loves you so much, how is he going to address you? How is he going to address your family members? Hmm? So please, a disrespectful man is a disrespectful man. Just check out and keep it moving, because you will not be able to change that overnight. This is the issue. Unless he has, or unless he has made a conscious decision to change himself. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to influence that just because he loves you or just because you love him. Okay? So be very, very mindful of that. My second to last red flag, I would say, is a big one. And this one is avoiding serious topics. When a man is avoiding discussion of a serious topic, it means you are not part of his future. I don't even know why ladies don't understand this. If he is avoiding having a serious conversation with you, he is not taking you as a serious part of his future. Either he's not intending to marry you and he's only in it for now, right? Or he's really made up his mind that he's not sure about you. And so if he's not having serious discussions as a Muslimah, the whole purpose of you courting a man is so you get to know him. So if he's not willing to have serious discussions, then this guy ain't serious about marriage, period. That is what it indicates. So stop allowing yourself to get entangled with him, fall more in love with him, spend more time with him in hope that he will get to see your value. And all of a sudden, you're going to be the woman that changes his mind about him being ready for marriage, because that's the excuse that a lot of men give. I'm not ready for marriage yet. I'm not looking to get married anytime soon. Well, when I find the right person, and he's never found the right person in all the many women he's spoken to, like, come on now, right? So if he is avoiding having serious conversations, he's not serious. It's as simple as that, sis. And it's time for you to move. You don't waste time with people who themselves are not ready for marriage. What are you wasting your time with them for? You're just going to end up with a broken heart. You're going to have to pick yourself back up after that broken heart, get yourself back on track. There's no point putting yourself through that trauma. Listen, if a man is not serious, he's not willing to have serious conversations about marriage, you keep it moving. If he has a history of infidelity, chances are he's going to repeat that history. Yes? So you want to be questioning him, like, what has he done to change since then? And there are a lot of things that you may want to see from him to prove that he has actually changed. That's again some of the things that women have asked me in my coaching practice. this man says that he has this history, or I know of him that he has this history, but here are the things that I've seen. Do you think this is enough to kind of signal that he's now ready to seriously take me seriously and commit to me only as the only woman in his life? And I give them my input on that, again, as a certified coach. But ladies, if a man does have that history and you're not seeing a lot of evidence that he has changed, he is one that you need to let go of, because he may not be ready for the change. Ladies, it's very important that we know that we cannot force people to change. We can't make men to change. We can't turn them into who we want them to be, right? That is a choice that is reserved for them. They have that right. Allah has given them that right to choose who they want to be. And so if he is just not a faithful individual, it's time to keep it moving. But the other way also around this, you may find that a lot of men who may have a history of not being faithful is that they are open to polygamy. So if that's something you're open to practicing, then you can discuss that with him. But ladies, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I hope I have exposed some red flags, some dating red flags, that when you see, it may be a sign to say it's time to go. Now, there are going to be women who are going to watch this and be like, yeah, I see the red flag, but I'm okay with it. To each his own, but from someone who wants the best for my sis, I'm gonna tell you, if you see these, it's time for you to go. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, make sure you give it a thumbs up, share it with someone whom you feel will benefit from the content of today's video. And ladies, I will see you in my next one. Assalamu alaikum.